We went live with CAD in 2018. Our CAD software includes geolocation, NCIC, RMS reporting. There's a whole slew of different programs that we use that are all tied together through this, and other software programs that are all integrated together. Prior to that, we were using an entirely different system that recorded data entirely different, to the point that we were actually using physical paper cards as a backup system for recording information. We moved away from basic laptops that we had in the cars to Getac tablets because they thought they were more functional in the field. We transferred our daily activity sheets because we used to have shift briefings. The technology allowed us to, whenever you sign into CAD for your very first time on every session, you're immediately aware with everything that's happened within the most recent hours. And they can easily take that device and interchange between different vehicles. Whatever the case may be, they can immediately take their tablet and go into another vehicle and be interoperable. The technology just advances so fast. You're either right on the cusp of doing something new, or you're so far behind that it takes more effort to catch up. So we try to stay on the leading edge of what's going on. When I found out that Getac was offering a pilot program to work with AI, I took full advantage of it because I knew that from my role here, that it offers a great tool to patrol, obviously, but it also, from my staff, it frees up their time because the officer is more capable about using the equipment they have in the cars and to use the tools they have at hand that they might not be using it to the fullest potential right now.
Getac reporting on January.
The AI voice, the really interesting part about that to me is you can simplify without having to really communicate over the radio what you're trying to get your information across. The real big benefit of this is being able to simplify what the officers can do in the car, because they've already had to do that historically. And you see that whenever law enforcement agencies have transitioned to 10 codes, and then we've kind of had to transition back to plain speech because things kind of make more sense. But that's a lot of radio time that you're tying up for very routine tasks that have to be there. And so the AI enables them to have a co-pilot in the car. That makes it easier for them to operate and multitask while they're driving. There's a lot of things that are going through their head. There's a lot of stressors that are on there too. So the idea about this making it better and faster just inherently makes it safer for them. So when you start getting into agencies our size and larger, we train everyone to operate at the solo level. So they're not going to have anyone by their side to do this. And by being able to have that AI with them to help assist them with their job, that means that there's less distraction. They're able to concentrate on what's in front of them without having to get glued into having to operate a different machine beside them like they would have to do. Our first trial that we did is we were working on doing AI-assisted report writing. And that's very common sense to me. It makes sense to do that. However, what you see with communities like ours that are just continually growing is you have less time to sit and do that or to narrate a report when you're writing because you're going from call to call to call. So that's when the idea came up that, we need to take these tasks that officers are going to go day in and day out, regardless of what position they're with. If I'm out assisting with traffic control, if I'm out assisting with an investigation on collisions, it's just as applicable to me as it is to them, that we can run vehicles, run names, and we can do it all through common language in the car without tying up the dispatchers. The common settings for most of the officers and for most of the systems we have around here is the function buttons that are on the keyboard. So we know those are going to be universal for everyone, whether it's running from our animal welfare or it's running from our police department. You're going to have all these different things that are set up uniquely. However, Getac is able to take those function buttons and recognize them with AI, so you're not having to remember, I need to press this button and then enter this information, enter this tag. It's as simple as telling Getac, I want to operate this function button, which they cognitively recognize as this is a vehicle, this is a person, or say 6 months from now, something changes and we need to implement another common button to do something. Getac is already ready to do that. The benefit of having someone in my role and anyone in the agency that's able to take advantage of this is to look at, okay, we have this new technology that we're able to use AI to recognize these commands, and also being able to know what the full capability of what our current software is. So our software, we have it configured to where it will read back the information that's on there. Without Getac, the step would be that they would have to take their eyes off the road, take their eyes away from the call. They would have to go back to a car and able to go into the computer and type in your information and then retrieve it. And they could listen to it if it's coming back from there. But the big benefit is you can either wear a headset if you're really that much into electronics, or you take it from maybe like an older generation officer that doesn't want to do that. So maybe the newer officers are more receptive to that. So they're able to communicate in the field outside the car, and the computer will talk back and you can hear it through a headset. There's a lot of different options here depending on what your level of proficiency is. There's been real good feedback that we shared along the way between the great staff at Getac and then the designers that are in Taiwan. We took the time to either communicate via the web, and then we had in person, where we went and rode in person so you could see firsthand what was going on, and I could show, and we were able to simplify it even more. So it shortens the amount of communication that they have so they can get the information that they need from the car without having to say a whole bunch of things, because otherwise it becomes overburdening for them and they won't use it. So the feedback that I received from the current version that we use now is they're excited to use it. But it's also at the point where it's new for them. So it's just inherent that what's going to happen is they're going to find new ways to improve what we've already started. So it's just going to get better and better.